Sherry and Michael Daly marry young, and it isn't long before Michael feels trapped by the marriage. By 1994, Michael is back in the Oxnard grocery store, where he meets a new co-worker, Diana Hahn.
She was in her 30s. She was not married, she didn't have prospects, she wasn't very successful. You know, she was kind of unremarkable, which has to hurt.
She was kind of a loner. She just kind of kept to herself and did her jobs.
He got very good at identifying women that had self-esteem issues or had some piece of the puzzle missing to where he could kind of gain that upper hand and be in total control.
Michael's instantly attracted to Diana, who, like him, is half Japanese. But initially, Diana is reluctant.
From what I understand, he pursued her for quite some time because she knew that he was married.
She falls for him just the same.
They had this Eastern culture connection that they felt was stronger than somebody from Western culture could even understand or appreciate.
When Michael is late for work one night, Diana leaves the store without punching out to go pick him up.
You can't leave the store and get in your car and drive away and being paid for that at the same time.
This behavior makes them far from popular at work.
Here's this guy, he's the perfect guy for her. He has these two beautiful children. She wants to be the wife. That's what motivated Diana Hahn.
She wanted to be part of Michael's life, and she wanted to have the children, and she wanted to have the lifestyle of the family.
She wanted Michael. If she got Michael, the kids would have gone elsewhere, I'm sure.
But Michael is drawn to Diana for other reasons.
Diana was not one of your missionary position people. And I think his wife was not like that. So I think that just excited him.
The two frequently take breaks during work to have sex.
When I say she's a wacko, that's what I mean. She was a wacko.
Before long, Sherry begins to suspect that Michael is fooling around.
She would find things in the house left by women that had been in there.
Calls would come in, or Mike would be really secretive about, calls or pages.
While Michael makes no effort to hide his affair with Diana from his coworkers.
They knew Michael was married. They knew his wife, and they didn't particularly like Diana because Diana was not the kind of person that you would like.
Both Diana and Michael were very arrogant, and they felt that they were just smarter than everyone else.
Store manager Daryl Anderson transfers Diana to a day shift in the deli department.
He was still working nights, and now she was working days, so there was no conflict in the store.
But at home, it's a different story. Michael starts flaunting his affair with Diana to Sherry.
He had this pillow made, and he put it on the bed where he and Sherry slept, and would not allow her to get rid of it.
Michael! What is this?
Go back to bed.
I'm like, I can't believe you would allow that, in your room.
He was rubbing it in his wife's face that he was having this affair, and it was a very callous thing to do.
That's when it was like, Sherry, something has to change. He can't be doing this and trying to live both roles. He has to be out of the house.
I think Sherry entered this relationship with a princess and prince illusion. And she's afraid that if she ends the marriage, that her whole illusion is crumbled.
Sometimes people like Sherry stay in terrible marriages because of low self-esteem. They don't think that they can find a better marriage. They don't think they can find a better partner than the one they have.
While Michael's past affairs tended to be anonymous prostitutes or out-of-town flings.
What are these?
Now, Sherry has a name and a face to put on her husband's infidelities.
She begged Michael not to see her anymore.
But Sherry's requests fall on deaf ears. By Christmas Day, 1995, over a year after the affair started, Sherry's relationship with Michael plummets to new depths.
Hi, Ma. Hi. Merry Christmas.
She called here twice on that day, and I wanted to say Merry Christmas to the boys, and she said, "He'll be back later. I'll have him call you." And much later, I heard that Michael had taken the boys to Diana's for Christmas and left her alone. And that broke my heart.
Sherry starts keeping tabs on Diana.
She'd call me and say, you know, I saw her Jeep today, or today I drove by to make sure she was at the house.
Finally, she's had enough. On January 12, 1996, Sherry confronts them both.
He was very forceful in trying to protect her marriage and told Diana Hahn in no uncertain terms, "Get away from my husband and leave us alone."
I said to Sherry, somebody's gonna get hurt, you know, and I said, Sherry, you're gonna end up in jail. You know, you're stalking Diana, you're gonna end up in jail.
As the affair between Michael and Diana heats up, Sherry finds herself feeling like she needs to confront them, and she does this. I think she's trying to find a way to desperately make them stop. Only what she's not realizing is that she seems to just be drawing the two of them closer together.
The affair continues. Then, in March of that year, witnesses say Sherry confronts Diana again, this time outside her workplace.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take your husband and I'm gonna take your kids.
Sherry wasn't meek. Sherry could have taken me down in a heartbeat.
And you could have him over my dead body.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Sherry, to me, I saw courage that I know I wouldn't have. I would have said, take the guy. You know, take the guy and walk away.
She used to sit down at the table and go over her bills and say, you know, I think I could make it on my own.
Sherry was ready to leave.
I could see Sherry's strength gathering.
But when Michael arrives home from an overnight shift on the morning of May 6, 1996, the driveway is full of parents waiting to drop their children off with Sherry. Sherry is nowhere to be found. Everyone is baffled.
She was so responsible and loved those kids so much that Sherry never would have just left.
Right away, Michael calls the Ventura Police Department to file a missing persons report.
The police department won't take a missing persons report on an adult unless they've been missing for 72 hours or more.
My wife has been kidnapped.
Or there are suspicious circumstances. When he called, there were really no suspicious circumstances.
Michael then calls Sherry's mother, Carlene, and tells her Sherry has been kidnapped.
Carlene, this is Michael.
Why would they take her? We don't have any money. We don't have anything, you know, as far as a ransom.
No, she's been kidnapped. Listen.
He was saying things like, I think she's been nabbed. You know, I think they got her.
Because she would not leave her kids. She would not leave her daycare kids in that situation.
The daycare parents offer to help out.
The parents said, look, you know, Ventura's a small town. I'm sure Sherry is fine. We'll go out and find her.
I remember people saying that, you know, she probably just got fed up and just is driving up the coast or leaving. And I just knew in my heart that that wasn't the answer.
And she's right. Soon the search for Sherry will reveal the answer. And it's terrifying.
Her sister had witnessed a woman being arrested.
She had scratches on her face.
There had been just a horrible struggle in that car.
Sherry and Michael Daly's marriage is in tatters. In May 1996, after suffering years of Michael's bad behavior, Sherry goes missing. Less than an hour after they start looking, the daycare parents' search party finds Sherry's van in a department store parking lot.
She had gone to the store that day to shop for Mother's Day gifts.
Sherry Daly's keys were in the ignition. Her license was attached to her key ring, along with some other items. The purchases that she had made in the department store were still on the floor in her van, and she was nowhere to be found.
That's when they knew that something was wrong.
Michael rushes to the scene in a panic.
Now there were suspicious circumstances. He called the Ventura Police Department again, and they sent an officer out to take a missing persons report.
Hours pass with no sign of Sherry, and hope is fading.
The officer's writing his report. It's about 10 o'clock at night. And he's going over everything that he had been told, and he goes, you know, this sounds like it could really be something bad.
The officer stops by the house to pick up a photo of Sherry. He's surprised to find that Michael's not home.
You'd be home, you'd be manning the phone, you'd be calling the hospitals, you'd be calling relatives, you'd be waiting to hear from authorities, but he was not home. The officer even had our dispatch center call the residence, and he could hear the phone ringing, and nobody was at the residence.
The following morning, Detective Sean Conroy attends a routine meeting at the station.
A female detective in the room said her sister had been at a local department store the day before and had witnessed a woman being arrested.
A woman who matches the exact physical description of Sherry Daly.
A teal-colored Nissan Altima stops kind of abruptly behind Sherry Daly's van.
Sherry Daly?
A woman wearing, what looked like a business suit gets out and engages Sherry Daly in a conversation right at the door of her van.
I'm not gonna ask you again, ma'am. Come with me, follow me. Step into
The woman then escorts her to the Nissan Altima, puts her in the back seat, kind of police-like, putting her hand on top of her head, guiding her into the back of the vehicle, just like you see on TV.
It's a relief. If Sherry was taken into custody, then she may be okay.
What we thought initially was that some other agency had come into our jurisdiction without notifying us, made an arrest.
But none of the neighboring police departments have any knowledge of the arrest. So who could have taken her? Detective Conroy begins interviewing Sherry's entourage.
The people we're interviewing were saying, you need to talk to Diana Hahn.
Conroy and his partner arrive at Diana's unannounced and find Michael's van parked outside her apartment.
Hello?
It's Michael Daly here.
She came to the front door in lingerie, fairly revealing. And she invites us in, and Michael comes from a back bedroom wearing just a pair of shorts. So we go, gee, Michael Holly's wife is missing, yet here he is at his mistress's house, apparently having just spent the night.
Sherry is missing, and Michael spends the night with Diana. So just think about this. There are two children whose mother is missing, and the father decides that the best place to be would not be at their side, but at the side of his lover.
Isn't this bizarre to you? I've been doing this for years. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
At the station, Detective Conroy sequesters Michael and Diana in different rooms. He asks Diana to write a summary of her activities on May 6th.
I went for a bicycle ride.
The day Sherry disappeared.
We can check on what she said and get an idea if she's being truthful with us.
Diana tells them that she spent that morning and afternoon alone, riding her bicycle.
To us, she's accounting for large blocks of time that we can't really check up on what she was doing.
In the other room, Michael makes a critical mistake. He asserts that he was home the night Sherry went missing.
And that was the first incident we had in the investigation where we knew Michael Daly was lying.
The cops know he wasn't home that night. And then investigators catch another lucky break.
An employee that worked at the supermarket she works for called and spoke to one of the detectives and said, have you guys noticed these scratches on Diana Hahn's forehead?
Diana arrived for her May 6th shift looking like she'd just been in a fight.
Diana came in about an hour late for work, and she had scratches on her face.
So we asked her to move her hair to the side, and there are two scratches on her forehead that are very obviously made by fingernails.
She has an explanation. Diana tells Detective Conroy she fell off her bicycle, but the accident is nowhere in her written statement. It's also highly improbable.
You cannot fall off a bicycle without putting your hands down to break your fall.
She had no scratches on her arms, no scratches on her hands.
Detective Conroy has photographs taken of the scratches.
We didn't know exactly what her involvement was, but we were trying to tell her, Diana, you have a window of opportunity to help us and to help yourself. Don't let this opportunity pass you by.
Diana remains silent. Lacking any hard evidence, the cops have no choice but to let her and Michael go free.
From there, the detectives went to various rental car places because the car that was described for them by witnesses sounded like the kind of car that one might rent from a car rental place.
A week goes by, and the cops finally find what they're looking for.
A team of detectives went to the rent-a-car place at the airport. They gave Diana Hahn's name, and they ran her through the computer, and lo and behold, her name pops up.
Records show that Diana Hahn rented a blue-green Nissan Altima at Oxnard Airport on May 5th, the day before Sherry's disappearance. The same car described by the female police officer.
The contract required her signature and her initialing in about 4 different places. There was no question that she did not rent a car from that car rental agency.
Luckily for the cops, Diana returns the car with a broken rearview mirror.
The rental car company had to deadline the car and send it to Van Nuys to their main repair facility. So when we recover the car, it was, virtually loaded with evidence.
Detectives find traces of blood in the carpet, the floorboard, and the seats.
There had been just a horrible struggle in that car.
I was riding my bicycle all day.
Michael and Diana are called in for another round of interviews. Diana maintains her innocence and suggests that Sherry probably ran away with a lover. She asks Detective Conroy if she can speak with Michael.
He comes into the interview room, and at that point we leave, just hoping that they would say things to each other that might be incriminating.
Detectives watch and listen from behind a two-way mirror.
You don't say nothing to him.
He started, telling her, look at me, and he was saying hi. And not like a greeting, but like the Japanese karate. And he say it. And she was like, hi. And he goes, no, look at me, look in my eyes, hi. And she starts going, hi.
Hi!
And it was like watching somebody pump up a deflated balloon. He told her in that interview that we had nothing, the police have nothing, that we're bluffing, and that they are going to walk out of there that day.
Michael is only half right.
They had enough probable cause to arrest her.
But they don't have enough evidence to charge her with any crime. The story breaks, and the local media have a field day. The news coverage has an unexpected impact on the investigation.
We started getting calls. We got a telephone call from a wig company in Oxnard that said, hey, that girl that I saw on TV, she came into our store and bought a wig.
According to the store's cashier, the customer in question said she wanted to look official, like a cop.
That she wanted to play a trick on somebody.
Detectives subpoenaed Diana Hahn's bank records, and we scanned them looking for purchases that she had made on or around the date of the abduction.
She had purchased shoes, a suit, crazy glue, windproof matches, large trash bags, and lighter fluid.
And an axe.
I think that Diana was a very incompetent murderess. She did a lot of things that were traceable that made it relatively easy for law enforcement to unravel what had happened.
She has no clue that anything is coming her way. She is so focused on what her agenda is, which is, let's get rid of Sherry, that she isn't thinking about what could happen to her.
Investigators pieced together the events following Sherry's abduction.
Sherry Daly did not recognize Diana Hahn because Diana had on a wig that she had purchased, which was totally different than her own hair.
With Sherry subdued in the back of the rental car, Diana's next stop is Cañada Larga Road.
If you are going to try to hide or dump a body, it's a pretty good place to do it because there's not a lot of traffic in and out of there.
there was a struggle. And to me, right away, that was like, of course, Sherry, with whatever she could have fought with, she would have fought.
Sherry's fight is in vain.
She wanted to make Sherry suffer. She wanted to be as violent as she could. She hated Sherry. She made that very clear.
But that's the kind of person Diana was. Diana wanted to hurt her, and Diana could be as cruel as possible.
Diana Hahn was willing to do anything to have a family.
By August 1st, nearly 3 months after Sherry's murder, detectives have enough evidence to charge Diana. They arrest her at work.
She was just very calm, very quiet, and just walked out with them, never said a word.
But the prosecution is certain that Diana Hahn didn't act alone, that Michael Daly had a hand in his wife's death.
How do you show that he was a conspirator? How do you show that he was the puppet master, that he was directing?
Diana Hahn could not have carried this out all by herself because there were certain factors that she had to have known in order to do this.
Namely, where Sherry would be on the morning of the abduction, something that only her husband would know. With Diana's trial still pending, detectives arrest Michael Daly on November 16, 1996. Police immediately call Sherry's mother, Carlene.
He's just been put in handcuffs. He's gone. And I thought, yay.
Michael!
There was a great deal of circumstantial evidence that he had planned this with Diana Hahn, and that she was in constant contact with him from moments before she abducted Sherry.
You don't get a divorce, or you get a chick on this?
Michael's loose lips are his undoing.
Michael thought that people that got divorces were stupid because they had to pay alimony and child support.
And he made it clear with his worker colleagues that he would never do that he had ways to take care of that, and kind of intimating that you'd have that person hit or done away with, or they'd disappear.
In April of 1996, just a month before Sherry's disappearance, Michael tells his boss, Darrell Anderson, who moonlights as a financial planner, that he'd like to cash in Sherry's half of their investments. Darrell tells Michael he can't.
They're individual accounts, so hers is hers and yours is yours. And Mike said, well, what if something happened to her? And I said, well, then you would get the money because you would be in the estate.
The following week, Michael tells Darrell he managed to secure a bank loan instead.
When I look back at it now, it's kind of like he didn't want her to have that money.
That series of calls Michael receives from Diana on the day Sherry disappears is the final nail in the coffin. In particular, a call from Surfers Knoll Beach in the hours after Sherry's abduction.
I think she went there to clean any evidence in those outside showers.
Every move she made, she called him.
And I'm certain that she said, it's over, I did it.
On September 27, 1997, Diana Hahn is convicted and sentenced to life without parole for kidnapping, conspiracy, and the first-degree murder of Sherry Daly.
I think I have forgiven Diana, because Diana was doing what Michael was manipulating her to do, and she was a weak person.
I think that Diana Hahn was the one who actually physically killed Sherry Daly, but I think Mike wanted her dead and helped set the plot in motion to kill his wife.